I'm not willing to wait any more days necessarily.
No, he gets stronger every minute.
Pick out his place and see if he comes back tonight.
So he's high on life right now, and it takes him a good long time before he's ready to go home. But eventually he does, around 1 a.m.
I have a plan. It's not a very good one, but it's the only one I can think of. We confront him.
I don't want to hear it.
We try to play the straight and narrow, but not quite. We go in, we bust in. I know he's Superman, so we'll probably get killed. But we are supposedly federal agents, so if we knock on the door, we might be able to get our foot in the door and do some talking. Explain to him the belt buckle is something supernatural. Maybe we show him a couple of supernatural 100 tricks to let him know that there's in fact a world beyond this. Then we tell him that if he keeps using that belt, he's going to explode, just like Jared. And when he realizes his life's on the line, if he's a good person, and we're lucky and he's not crazy yet, he hands it over. Well, we take it, we put it in the box, we leave, he still explodes eventually. But we don't have to tell him that.
Okay. I have a contingency. If your silly plan doesn't work, since he's blowing up anyway, we shoot him to death.
Well, first I'm going to point out that shooting someone to death is going to cause a lot of noise and draw a lot of attention. And that's assuming he doesn't murder us after we filled him full of bullets because he's riding high on adrenaline, as the toxicology showed. Like he's on super PCP. I'm pretty sure we won't put him down even if he's lost enough blood to literally kill a man. He may stay standing.
You would know this, and you would know this too, Eric. Very recently, this guy became super high profile.
There's another problem. He's hero cop.
Like
being
people
murdered in his own house.
Stop. Regardless, if we go into that house and he does not buy your shit, plan B is going to happen. So if you're committed to your plan, all this other talk is pretty much meaningless. So you might as well be prepared for that.
But let's say there's a plan B between my plan A and your plan B. So we'll make your plan C. Plan B is he rejects what we say, gets mad, and we flee. And then
We're worried about him beating us to death. I'm sure he could beat us in a foot race. I'm sure he could beat you in a foot race.
Well, okay. Consider this. We split up when we leave. Giving one of us a chance. But if he doesn't believe us and he thinks we're assholes or we're liars or fakes or frauds and he tries to get a hold of the real FBI, that's something we can deal with. As long as we can get our foot back out the door after we've gotten it in, then we just play the waiting game until he explodes and we grab the belt, which we could do anyway. We don't have to try to take him out. He's going to die either way. We can wait this out.
If he goes crazy, he's a high-profile cop who might go crazy around a lot of innocent people.
That's true. It's also not my job. This isn't Missouri or Michigan out in the middle of nowhere. We're in Houston. My car plates have been on, which granted I can change, but how many people drive a 1976 Lincoln Continental?
Lincoln Continental.
You don't drive a Lincoln Continental. You drive a Lincoln Continental. So if you want to go incognito,
even more noticeable.
Put those letters and get the Continental back. Also, to use the paint job anyway.
No, it's silver. It's classic.
And easily traceable.
I like your, shoot him so we don't die plan, but that's pretty much my plan B in every situation.
Homemade explosives.
Blow him up.
Yes. Prematurely. Controlled explosion.
And hope the belt buckle doesn't get blown away and found by someone else.
Let's not do it by a window and we should be fine.
Maybe a high-powered sedative and a drink, which I can't get my hands on. Actually, I might be able to get my hands on sedatives.
Just be sure that you're only getting your hands on sedatives.
I might have to put my hands on other things to get the sedatives. Don't you give me a hard time about this. Now, you build an explosive just in case.
Don't you give her a hard time.
Whatever it takes to get the job done.
Uh-huh.
I'm
going to spend the time that he takes getting those sedatives making homemade explosives.
Yep, you're able to get some functional explosives. Pretty much similar to a pipe bomb.
That's all I wanted.
She might be up. I take a couple of shots and I call her up.
Phone rings a couple of times, and then eventually she does pick up. Hello?
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I wake you up, sweetie?
No. I was just getting ready for bed. What's up?
Oh, well, then never mind, I guess. I don't want to be a bother.
No. I'm glad you called.
Well, I got two problems on my hand. One of them is I just got a call from my cousin. He just actually lives just out of town. His dog's got a bad case of something. I don't know what it ate, but it's bad, and I need my hands on some sedatives quickly. And of course, he called me because I'm the Fed. But I told him he knew I was in town, thought I could do him solid. He's got the dog caged up right now, and I said I couldn't help him, but he's like a little brother to me. And so I said, well, I have one contact, and it's getting late. I've had a couple of shots. You know where I've never actually had a good time is the Houston Medical Examiner's Office.
Burgundy?
No, absolutely. Like, I don't say it just like that, but it's bad. It's bad. Roll the con game.
I already did. Wow.
I know it's a long drive for you, and I know it's real late. I'm not even sure you can do this without getting in trouble, but I guarantee I can at least cover why you were there. I have an ongoing investigation, so you don't have to worry about that. Giving me some sedatives, however, probably not on the level, but I feel bad. I've known that dog for 7 years, too, and I don't think it's rabies. The vet out there ain't that good. I know, it's a lot to ask. I'm sorry.
No, don't you worry about that. This sounds like it could be a good time.
Yeah, I figure the dog's got at least 36 hours. It's not that long of a drive, so we can take our time.
But you're gonna owe me one after this.
Anything you want, sweetheart. Anything you want.
You're such a gentleman. Okay, I'll be there as quick as I can.
Oh, yeah, I'll be there.
So here's what you're able to do. You got to take care of the cover story. I don't know if you're into the whole sex in strange places for the sake of excitement. You really haven't ever had sex in a medical.
Problem is I really have. I have to fake it. I mean, I never did in Houston.
Right.
But it's not the first time in an ME's office. No, obviously not.
What about on the actual table? That's been on her bucket list for a while. That gets taken
she's
care of.
weird.
And you're able to get your hands on some ketamine.
Oh, how much ketamine?
Yeah.
You're gonna need a lot.
So you get your hands on the ketamine in liquid form.
Because we're not doing it habitually. So let's put it into a drink ahead of time. A whiskey, something that they're gonna drink and we're not. And we're gonna celebrate his good fortune. We were in town making federal agents look bad. Sedative doesn't work and he starts getting weird. Then we try to explain supernatural. If that doesn't work, we fill him full of pipe bombs. Wait.
Just slip a couple of pipe bombs into his drink.
It's like the whole stir in the drink with dynamite from the Looney Tunes.
I feel like Kyle, we go into every single one of these half-assed.
Well, it is in the grand tradition of the show that we have no affiliation with whatsoever.
True. Like, well, what if this works? What if it doesn't?
And this is one of the more comprehensive plans you've actually come up with so far.
Yeah.
So,
Yep, let's pull the trigger on this one.
where do you wait for him? You wait at his house?
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the time you realize he's not coming home, pretty much what happens, which is why I asked you where you watch, is he just goes back to the station and he's working all night.
Fucker.
He was excited about something. He felt like he was onto a lead. He's pumped up by supernatural go juice. He's got the strength and energy of literally 10 men. And he's not about to let it go to waste. So he's really throwing himself into his work.
I would think by 4 or 5 we could probably show up at the station and ask for him.
You make your way to the station, and he's been really going at it. Looks a little.
Yeah.
2:30 in the morning.
He looks a little strung out, if you ask me. But no, he says he's working on some big case, and he's almost got it. So
Yeah, why don't you see how much heroin he got from that bust to make sure it adds up? Go see Officer Russo. Man, I hope this doesn't go down in a police precinct. We do not need this.
he's in one of the giant conference rooms with bulletin boards and whiteboards and a big table with lots of space. It's kind of like if you've ever seen like those massive FBI investigations where they lay out the crime family and they start making links. He's really, he's onto something. You know enough about fighting crime that he is, he's putting string up and hanging pictures. He's dressed, blue jeans, cowboy boots, fancy belt buckle, topped off with a cowboy hat.
I wore my cowboy hat.
You did? Okay.
Yeah. I thought it would help reach out to him.
You may or may not be right. Those are the only two options.
Might also challenge him. I don't know.
You see at least 6 cans of Red Bull crunched up around the office. And based on what you know about this item, you don't even know that he needs it. It might just be that he thinks he needs it. But you also notice some very nervous tendencies about the guy. Like he is doing a lot of subconscious, like looking over his shoulder, making sure his stuff is where he left it. He's starting to get jittery, and not in a good way. So
Officer Russo,
What? Yeah. What? What?
Agents Armstrong, cool. We met the other day.
Yeah, we did. A lot of stuff going on today. What do you need?
Need you sit down for a second and have a chat with us.
Can't do that. Way too busy. You can talk while I work. I gotta get this done.
Yeah, okay, fine. It looks like you're really onto something there. You've been on quite a roll the last few days.
Oh, I've never been so hot in my life. This is unbelievable. I've never done so much good for the community. More than I ever dreamed. I've been working these cases for years and years. But I'll tell you what, not everybody here. This is why this stuff doesn't get done. There's officers here who do not want these crimes to get solved. They're corrupt. They're on the take. Maybe even be working for them. I've even drawn up some files. Some of the HR files don't make sense. Well, they make sense, but they make sense in a way that if you're thinking about it the right way, they don't make sense. And it's very disturbing. But look, if you look right here, we've got the head of the crime families on the west side and the gangs on the east side. They're killing each other, but they're killing each other in a way that makes it look like they might be working together and only trying to make it look like they're against each other. This is some big shit going down. This is some big shit going down.
I sit down calmly.
So what are we gonna do about it?
Nothing.
I've got the high. What do you mean nothing? They're strangling our city to death.
I pull out my badge and I set it on the desk. Federal agent.
Yeah, federal. This is a Houston problem. This is not a federal problem. It's my jurisdiction.
We are aware of what's happening here. But you know what? I do have a question for you because you seem specifically ready for this case. You've solved everything you've been looking at lately, right? You're really on point. I feel like you're 100% at this point. What about the man who exploded the other day?
What about him?
You got anything on that?
I mean, who knows? Everyone said he was on PCP, so that's what the ME said.
Nope. Said similar to PCP. PCP doesn't cause your body to explode.
It could be a new drug. I don't know.
Yeah, I thought the same thing. Guess what? Science doesn't work out. But maybe just if you could take a second to look at this case, you could apply yourself.
Oh, what do you got? What do you got that we haven't seen? I've looked at all the evidence. I talked to the witnesses. The witnesses all say the same thing. He got really mad. He got really strong really quick. Sounds like steroids, drugs. Took the wrong combination of wrong things.
He exploded.
And never seen anything like it. But
scientifically impossible.
Also, looked at all the evidence, but you still have to be wearing a piece
of that evidence.
Well, yeah. What does that have to do with anything? It's just a piece of metal.
All right. You've never seen Beautiful Mind. You ever watch X-Files?
Yeah, sure. Good show.
And you'll note that I was not at all surprised by your discovery you have on your board that you have painstakingly put together.
You're not trying to sabotage my investigation, are you?
No, not at all.
This is my investigation.
No, actually, we'd be glad to see you take this down. It took a lot of work, and it's definitely time for that. What I'm saying is that there's a bigger picture here. A bigger picture. You may not be privy to all the information. Again, X-Files.
Well, hey man, I don't know what you're trying to get at, but it sounds like you know something that I don't. And
I do.
So why are you giving me the runaround, man? I got a lot of things to do. Why are you wasting my time? Tell me what you know, and then we can do what we need to do. But I've really got to get back to this. This is my life's work here.
All right. Well, this may be shocking to you, and you won't believe me, but I lay down the reports for Jared and eyewitness accounts of his time and how he got superhumanly strong, and a picture of the locker he punched a hole in, as well as a picture of his bloodied hand from the autopsy. That doesn't add up, and I just slide it over before he can give too much time. And I lay down things he's done. What do you two share in common? A belt buckle that you stole, that my partner had already talked to you about days ago, meaning we've known.
And by the way, Gerald, especially with that hat on, that is
damn it.
That is a really nice belt buckle.
Yeah, that's fine.
It would look amazing on the outfit that you have on. And now that both of you have seen it up close, might even be one of those things where you kind of start to think, man, what would I have to do to make sure that I was the one who got that? And then you immediately tell yourself, I don't want to explode and die, but it keeps recurring.
I'm worried about him if it occurs to me, because I just play the long game. I play the con game, and if I have to move quick, I learn to move quick. I keep myself positioned, but otherwise, play it cool, because I'll be the one to put it in the evidence bag.
Again, I put on my gloves.
Okay.
You put on your gloves. That's smart. I don't.
You're saying that a belt made that guy explode. Not drugs, not steroids, not some sort of weird thing that made his heart blow up. A belt.
It is a belt.
How do you know?
Because it's made of a material not of this world, and it causes a neurochemical reaction throughout your body, which causes a physical reaction, which causes you to explode after a period of time.
How do you know all this?
Because a man exploded, and I got the appropriate case files. And I'm telling you, you have a matter of minutes, maybe 2 hours, to take off that belt, or you will share the same fate. You don't have to believe me. And then I look at his wall of facts. Some of this is hard to believe, but you're the man who can do no wrong. Do the math in your head. Let me know how you feel. I got all day and a perfectly intact chest.
He rolls an 18, but you got a natural 20.
Yes.
Won that showdown.
So let's say that I believe you, for the sake of argument. If I take that belt off, then I'm not going to be able to finish this.
Trust me, for one, that will be finished. The work you've done already does its work for it. But I'm going to level with you. The longer you wear it, the better you get, and the closer you get to death.
And craziness.
Oh, yeah, and you'll go crazy, just like Jared did, and risk everyone in this department, possibly if you get outside innocent people.
So what do I do?
Simply put, you take the belt off, and you hand it over where we can put it into lockdown where no one else can deal with it. That is our job as federal agents. I'm afraid you won't do that.
Let's say that I do. This is the single most important thing that's ever happened to me.
Look at your wall.
Yeah.
That's more work than anyone's done in years.
Nobody wants to do it.
Even, it doesn't matter. We've already seen it. It will be done. In fact, if you'd like, we can take some pictures and upload it to a federal database.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
And if that's not okay with you, we can put it on a public domain as well.
No, you can't let them know we're onto them, because then they'll change everything around.
That's what I'd say, but not everyone trusts the feds. It's a hazard of the job.
You've been straight with me. You've been straight with me more than anyone. I can tell you know what's going on, and you know things that other people don't know. And I feel like I can trust you with this.
Officer Russo, as much as I care about that and the number of people that will harm and has harmed in the past, right at this moment, I'm worried about your life. Because time is a factor.
Okay. All right. And he stands up and he removes his belt and puts it on the table. Oh man, I've been drinking way too many of these things. And he points to all the cans and energy drink and he says, I gotta hit the head. You take that. And
the best thing you need to do right now, go home, drive safe, get some sleep. We will debrief you in the morning. But right now you need to rest.
Okay.
That's the most important thing.
All right. I don't know if I'll be able to rest, but I know what you're saying.
In fact, call a cab.
Yeah, that's a good idea. All right, I gotta go.
We will see you in the morning.
I gotta piss so bad. So he walks out of the room.
I hope he blows up tonight, because tomorrow's going to be awkward.
He's not making it out of the bathroom.
Well, shit. Either way, we got the belt. Bag it. Tag it.
So yes, the next few moments are important. So tell me exactly how you handle the belt.
Well, I already have my gloves on.
Okay.
So I pick up the belt and put it.
I hand him tongs. I brought tongs. Can't be too safe.
Okay, I'm going to allow this.
Take the tong in my gloved hand.
Yep.
And I maneuver the belt into the box.
Once the belt, more specifically the belt buckle, but you can put the whole kit and caboodle in there. Nobody's really gonna blame you.
Yeah, we're not taking the buckle off. That's too much effort. Just put the whole goddamn thing in the box.
Okay, right when you close the box, you hear shooting and shouting. There's a hail of bullets.
Will we drop, I imagine?
And then everything goes quiet. With the final stages of this artifact possession is insanity, including paranoia and delusion. And he had mentioned specifically quite a few times that there were other officers in the station who didn't want his work to be completed. End of the day, you've got 5 dead cops, including Russo.
What about Gerard?
Yeah, did Gilardi survive?
Gilardi's fine.
God damn it.
Yeah, one job.
He had one job, and that was to die by the end of the session. It's just another weird story of a hero cop who lost his shit, didn't sleep enough. I'm fine with it.
Yep.
No, this worked fine. We get to leave with the belt. Probably want to, not go around Houston for a while. Otherwise, clean. I don't even have to steal some heroin. He literally just went crazy.
I mean, we don't have to not steal heroin.
No. We're leaving. We're done. This job's done. Another success, 100%. 5 dead cops plus 1 dead possessed cop or cursed cop.
The 5 total dead cops and 1 gym
Good
guy.
end. We got the good end.
We're 3 for 3, 100%.
We couldn't be doing this any better than we currently are.
You're still in Houston in the hotel. Gerald,
Yes.
you wake up in the bed. It's dark. You quickly find out that your arms and legs are tied to the bed.
I don't remember spending the night with Millie. Well, I struggle.
You think if
Against
you
my
had enough
bonds.
time, you could slip the cuffs off. Are very hungover, and your phone is ringing.
I'm guessing I can't reach my phone.
You hear off in the distance, Gerald, who's there? And it is Millie, which is weird because you don't remember having Millie over. So you're in the bed, trying to get out of these cuffs, probably a little bit confused. She comes into the room wearing something revealing and climbs on top of you and says,
Could you untie this and hand me the phone?
"Oh, I won't be doing that."
Oh, damn
and
it.
she clicks your phone so that it stops ringing.
Fuck. Please? I mean, I'm still trying to get like a hand free or something.
Well, since you asked so nicely, and she pulls out a knife and stabs you in the gut
God damn it. I only have 3 hits.
and starts pulling out your intestines.
Okay, I hope this is a nightmare.
And she starts strangling you with your intestines as you thrash on the bed bleeding, and then you wake up.
Oh, good.
And
To the same scene playing out.
Ah, crap. When did I go to hell?
that was
All
a
right.
really fucked up dream, and it was very real.
Yeah, it's time to get out of Houston.
I was rolling through, like coming out constantly.
So you wake up all kinds of fucked up in the head for a few minutes.
Well, I checked my phone to see if maybe my phone was ringing. That's what woke me up.
No, your phone hasn't been ringing.
I also checked the time.
Yeah, the time has not been ringing.
Well, something's ringing. Must be in my head.
It's probably the middle of the night still. This was not a restful sleep, and it was interrupted by your nightmare.
Well, I know the cure for that. Whiskey.
You have yourself a couple shots, tell yourself it was just a bad dream, and try to fall back asleep.
An old hunter. I'm sure I've had a lot of nightmares.
That one was a little bit more vivid than you remember, but sure.
I'm too hungover to give a shit, so...
I mean, you could take that approach as well. Now, we will go to my favorite part of the game, which is the opening cinematic. And it is my favorite part of the game because I don't have to interact with my players. I'm going to tell that joke every time.
I'm going to say the same thing. We'll see.
Here goes. Derek just couldn't seem to get his orc ears to fit right. Damn things kept slipping off. Everyone knows that a blood orc without proper ears won't be taken seriously. It was getting close to nightfall and most of the fighting for the day was finished. It was almost time for the big festival feast. Derek knew he couldn't go there until he fixed his costume. He remembered seeing a stream nearby where he could get a better look at himself in the water. The nearby noises began to fade away as he approached the peaceful and calm stream. It was a nice place to be, and he could get a much better look at himself. Finally, he was able to get the stubborn ears back into place. When Derek looked up, he was startled to see one of the most beautiful women he had ever seen standing knee-deep in the water about 10 feet away from him. Her well-filled-out costume left very little to the imagination. She was looking right at him with a seductive smile on her face. "You have a really awesome costume," was all he could think to say. She held out her hand to him and with one finger motioned him to come closer. "Come to me," she said with a silky voice. Not about to question his luck, Derek quickly set down his foam-covered PVC pipe sword and his other small props at the water's edge before wading out to the beautiful cosplay girl in the water. A chill wind picked up as the soaked, beautiful woman called out again as he got closer. "Come to me." Okay, I'm almost there." Derek reached out and took the strange woman's hand into his. She pulled him close and looked deep into his eyes before drawing him into a long kiss. There was no joy in that kiss, only an icy chill. The woman's arms clamped shut around Derek so tightly that he couldn't move. Her grip was like a vice. "Come to me," she said again, this time much more menacingly, as Derek started to try and get away. His struggles were useless as she began pulling him with her under the water. It was all happening so quickly. Before he knew it, he was completely under, with her cold, strong hands preventing him from getting away. He couldn't breathe. There was water all around him, and what little air he had within him was rapidly running out. Derek struggled and splashed, trying to get to the surface as his lungs felt like they were going to burst. He knew he shouldn't, and he fought it as hard as he could, but finally, in an attempt to save itself from lack of oxygen, Derek's body forced him to take a deep, gasping breath of river water. Drowning was supposed to be like falling asleep, he thought. Peaceful. This wasn't peaceful. It hurt. Derek spent his last thrashing, painful, and panic-filled moments choking on the water in his lungs, thrashing against this vicious woman, and feeling the full panic of helplessness. The last thing Derek remembered before passing out was losing control of his bowels and shitting his pants. "Come to me," the woman whispered at his floating corpse before she flickered in and out of view and then disappeared. Eric, your phone rings. Hey, what's up, cowboy?
Who's this?
Don't worry about it. I got a job. You know who it is. He's the guy who always says, don't worry about it. You never really got a name for him, but he's worked with you a couple times. Bit of an asshole.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, what do you mean don't worry about it? So we got some business going on in near Dixon, New Mexico. Carson National Forest. We had 2 drownings in the last 4 days. Could be our kind of thing.
All right.
Hey, I heard about your mom. How's she doing?
Got her resettled. Had to break it to her. The world is a lot more insidious than she ever thought. She was fine when I left her, but you know, it takes a little while to acclimate to the truth.
Yep, I hear that. Not everybody can resettle. Hopefully she'll be all right. All right, anyways, I got shit to do, so be safe.
Don't worry about it.
All right.
I'll go to see Conway.
Conway, there's a knock on your door.
You can get up. I open the door in a robe.
Hey, you know, you're interested in working, then go and
Yeah, let me take a shower and be with you in 20. Wait, what kind of thing?
some drownings.
20.
At least it won't be a dry heat.
I go get cleaned up and get my shit together. And I guess we head out.
Anything else you want to do on the way there?
Eat.
Okay. You get
That's
some
it.
shitty diner food along the way. It is what it is. Texas to New Mexico is not that far. Maybe about a half a day's travel in the car. So you can get there pretty quick. Based on the coordinates that you were given, you are led to Carson National Forest, which is about 20 miles away from Dixon.
Mm-hmm.
But that's kind of a misnomer because Carson National Forest is actually 1.5 million acres, and it's one of 5 national forests in New Mexico. Dixon itself is a small town of about 950 people, founded in 1725 by Spanish colonists.
All right. Yes, we start with a body.
Okay.
Or bodies.
Probably introduce ourselves to local law enforcement before we start digging around in their backyard.
Yeah, it's probably smart. I mean, we could see the scene before anybody mucks it up any further. All right, let's do that then.
Welcome to Pot Creek Interpretive Trail. It's a 1 mile long. I didn't come up with the name. It's a 1 mile long stretch. Pretty much what it is it's a line of trees surrounding a field, and then there's a stream that runs through it. To call it a stream is a bit of an under-exaggeration. It's got some width and some depth to it, but it's not a full-blown river, I guess. It's somewhere between a stream and a river. You guys use your imaginations.
Okay.
We don't have to with descriptions like that.
I mean, you really don't.
Like we got it pegged down. Yeah.
You get here about the middle of the day, and you hear a lot of commotion from off in the distance on the opposite side of the river. You've got your law enforcement tape that is blocking off a line of trees that leads to the stream. And then off to the other side, you see little tiny people that are far away. Tiny because they're far away, not because they're actually tiny people, wailing at each other with foam swords. There's a lot of them.
So we had made it up to the police tape?
Yeah.
Let's look at the scene of the crime.
There's one guy, actually. He's got a notepad and a camera. Appears to be taking notes. He's a park ranger, or he's got a park ranger outfit on.
Walk up to him, pull out IDs, and go fed as usual.
Okay.
That's the go-to.
Okay, you make your check with no problem, so he believes that you're a fed.
Agent Dixon and Grimes.
Huh. What are the feds doing here?
We were nearby, came across. We were told to go check it out. That's where we're starting.
All right. Well, I'm Park Ranger Roberts. Every year they bring a few extra rangers in for this sword fighting group. With this many people, it's usually something, but not like this. The last couple years this happened, it was pretty peaceful. A couple drunken disorderlies. I'm guessing the late troubles have been caused by drugs and alcohol. It's the second drowning this week from this group. It's sad, but it's not like we can put a lifeguard on every lake and stream. So
look around the area. Body has been moved to the...
yeah, we wanted to wait for a positive ID for the family.
Did you say Dixon?
That's the
name of the town. I didn't even think about that when I chose the name.
Everybody here says the guy's name was Derek, so it's more a formality at this point. You both pick up the same thing. EMF activity all over the place here.
Let's head over to the LARPers. All right, nerds, listen up.